So it is my pleasure to welcome Dr. Oleg Konovalov for a brief talk on the topic of the Renaissance of Leadership and Management. And before I start with Dr. Oleg, I'd like to take a minute to introduce him and what he has done. So here is Dr. Oleg. Wonderful picture, Dr. Oleg.
Thank you. It's not me, it's my parents.
True. But you have kept yourself fantastic, and you look like a professor in those rimless glasses. So in 2019, Dr. Oleg was on Thinkers 50 radar, the top 50 thinkers in the world, and he's on the radar for that. And he also belongs to Marshall Goldsmith 100 coaches. So Dr. Marshall Goldsmith is considered by many as the world's most eminent leadership thinker and a coach. And he selected the topmost leadership coaches in the world. And Dr. Oleg was one of them. So congratulations, Dr. Oleg.
Thank you.
And in 2019, Thinkers 360 gave Dr. Oleg the title, the #1 thought leader on culture. Again, that is the #1 thought leader on culture, and that's absolutely fantastic. And that brings me to the next topic, which is his third book, if I'm correct, Dr. Oleg?
It's fourth book. It's my own book. Plus, I wrote a few books as co-author. And one thing you missed is I'm #1 global living coach by the Marshall Goldsmith Thinkers 50 Award.
Wow. So out of those Thinkers 50, you were the #1 coach. I saw that video on your website, but I forgot to mention. So thanks for bringing it. So Leaderology is your fourth book, and I will just read what Marshall Goldsmith says about this book. This book shares the best lessons in modern management, and I had the privilege to read that one, and I really enjoyed it. The simplicity, the clarity of thoughts, and I'll also read what Jonas Ritterstride says about Dr. Oleg's book. Every once in a while, you encounter a book that makes you rethink how you think about management. And this is one of those rare gems. And I believe that is a very good description of your book. And finally, I forgot to mention, Forbes listed this book as top 20 must-reads of 2019. And again, it is well-deserved praise. And I'll read one more quote from John Spence. John Spence is considered the top 100 business thought leaders in the world. And I will read, quote, "This book is among the most comprehensive, insightful, and educational books I have ever read on how to build a world-class culture. The ideas in this book are on the same level as Peter Drucker's timeless insights and will have a profound impact on business thinking for years to come." Amazing, Dr. Oleg, being compared to the management guru who started it all and his impact on business. So,
Tushar, here comes the most critical lesson which I learned, and I want to share it straight away. Success is very elusive. So, but if you think as success as responsibility to do something more, then you are really leader and you are with people.
Fantastic.
This is more important than all of those titles.
Absolutely. And I think you mentioned that again and again and again in your book, that leadership is not about yourself, but it is about
people and what you do for them.
Absolutely. Right. So what is the common myth about leadership? And if you can help us debunk it.
You know, I would mention probably just few. We think of leadership as something clear and studied forever. But, you know, leadership is something that evolving, it's changing its nature now. Think of the leaders of the old days. They all were men of power, right? Or big influence. Kings, queens, you know, emperors. They were strong and superior to everyone. Today we talk about leaders' servants, who grow people, and by growing people they grow themselves, and so they're elaborating on people qualities, which is completely different outside, and it's still developing because we only explore it in a new field and we are going deep into it. So it's a myth that if you're a leader, it's forever. I was chairing an exam in one of the business schools, and quite weak in understanding of leadership young man. He was trying to sell to me his knowledge. He wasn't successful, and asked him, look, you consider yourself, yeah, I'm a leader. I said, what your people achieved under your leadership? I said, no, you're making me, no, you're not good. You know, but the truth is, modern leader is somebody who is in charge of the people's success.
Correct.
Another thing is, we love talking about visionaries. We love them. We're looking at Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, and all this, Elon Musk, and all these bright people, and we think that is normal. But the truth is that only 0.1% of leaders have vision. So we're still having a difficulty to understanding where we go as leaders, or where we lead people. That is the most difficult thing to overcome, but it is possible. And then, but it all falls on a very simple issue. We generally assume that all leaders are learners, but the truth is that not the most leaders are learners.
Correct.
Those wise and successful, they are, but in general, you know, people know. So my advice is simple: when stepping into the new role or every new project, or you're facing a new phase of life, be like a child. Learn everything from you and quickly. You know, don't drag everything from the past into the future. That's a problem.
Absolutely.
You know, we often stick to the past and projecting it into the future, but this is wrong, and that's a huge problem.
In fact, Dr. Marshall Goldsmith's book says that exactly what got you here will not get you there.
Absolutely.
Right. And we become prisoners of our past and keep doing what made us successful in the past. But the world has changed, the organization has changed, and you mentioned that a lot in your book. And you mentioned only 0.1% of the people have vision. And
0.1.
Yeah, 0.1% of the people have vision. So my question is that how do you develop vision? And that is your expertise. That is where most of your consulting work is currently, if I understand that right.
Yeah. I would put it in a simple way. We all have dreams, right? But vision is something different, because vision is a psychological tool to create the future. Dream is just feeling yourself comfortable somewhere. Dream doesn't demand any effort. Vision does. So to create a vision, yes, you must be learning. You must kill your ego, because dream is an ego, is all a reflection of an ego. But ego is like a blind mask. It puts you away from people, it puts you away from everything. So you must kill your ego. You must listen to the people's pain points. You must have a really broad outlook. So it's quite a number of factors. But vision comes when your conscious awareness of a problem which you want to solve reaches its peak. If you don't know what you want to solve, I want to help people. It's not a conscious awareness. It's just your desire. I want to be helpful. You will not help because you must be focused on what you're really trying to, what kind of a problem you're trying to solve. So it's a certain algorithm behind it. It might take a year, it takes years to realize all these things and put them together. You must grow. And so it's a hard work. It doesn't come as a gift. The gift is your ability to work hard. This is a gift.
Right. I love that. The gift is your ability to work hard. Fantastic.
Yes. You know, another thing when we talk about vision, not many people actually realize why vision is important. And I'm always saying, yeah, vision is meaningless. Absolutely meaningless. Forget about it. Unless you really understand the value of it and why it is important. Because, you know, if people don't see it's valuable, why they should follow it? But it helps to define your highest purpose of your existence. Life is meaningless unless you make it meaningful.
Correct.
You're answering your why I'm here and what I do for people. It defines the future. It guides. It's a strongest, the best guide for your life and business. Right? It's a mean for breakout out from negativity. Because, you know, I know many people who never did, or who were not born with a silver spoon in the mouth, but they made a lot of tremendous things because they've been fighting for those great things. It's actually incredible uniting force and a source of energy for many people. Because if the vision is really strong and compelling, it's a magnet for people to follow it and go and support it, be involved. And it's provision for inspiring life for yourself and for others. That's good. Vision is a foundation of everything. If you talk about strategy, if you talk about even your family life,
Correct.
Because if you don't have a vision, how your family would be happy today, tomorrow, in the years to come, you always wouldn't be satisfied with your family life. You would be still nagging. You will become grumpy old man and nothing else.
Correct.
You know, so again, it's a certain algorithm and construct which can be taught. And this is what I do these days. I'm helping top CEOs and top executive teams to create a vision because it defines a real success, not bottom line figures.
Correct.
Yeah, that's a difference. So I'm lucky to have a vision for a vision.
Yeah, I love that. That's fantastic. Family or organization, vision is extremely important. And
absolutely.
Correct. Can you maybe give some tips to our leaders who might be watching about how do they go about developing their own vision? I know it's hard work, but what would be a few steps that they should start taking?
Actually, I'm finishing my next book on vision, and I already created so-called a click self-assessment form. Because to handle something huge and strong as vision, you must be strong yourself as a leader. Correct. Therefore, I'm betting on 5 points. Therefore, I call them click. C for courage, L for learning, I for inner excellency, C for confidence, and T for knowledge bank. Because you can't do vision on your own. You must get a team around you, and
Correct.
so the team would be strong as soon as they are exchanging and supporting knowledge of each other, and so they grow together. And so it's a certain algorithm. I will present it in the book. So more or less, I'm turning vision into a business tool. I'm trying to make it accessible to all people in the world. This is my contribution to the world.
Correct, correct. And how do you see the leadership development industry changing in the next few years? I think you mentioned how it has changed in your book with the digitalization and so on and so forth. So where do you anticipate the leadership development industry going in the next few years?
I would say, first of all, we are moving from leadership as a function to a leadership as a system. Therefore, I call it leaderology, because it's not something just like, as we say, sales is a function, leadership is a function, HR is a function, operations is a function. No, it's a system, because you're creating, business is a little ecosystem which you create and you're in charge of. You're making it for people, so you're taking care of it, again, for people. So we're moving into a systematic understanding of more or less an art of leadership, which is a big shift. As we discussed, we would be facing a rise of visionary leadership, because we can't do these things on a spot. We are not event managers or managers who are managing events. We are responsible for the future and what this future will bring to the next generation. So we become more future driven rather than past dependent. And of course, no one can become professionals or experts on their own.
Correct.
If we do something on our own, we will remain amateurs. Leadership is an expertise. So therefore, I'm envisioning and enhancing our role of coaches, particularly high caliber coaches, who would help leaders, or they would be like co-creators of the leader's success.
Correct.
And by collaborating together with leaders, they are becoming both more professional.
Correct.
This is at least what I could predict.
Absolutely. In fact, I read it in your book that get a coach. If you can't get a coach, get a friend, get a colleague, someone who can see you objectively instead of you yourself seeing you subjectively. Of course, coach is the best way, but if you can't get a coach, get a true friend who will tell you as you are.
Call it loving critique, because somebody who respects you and would be giving you honest feedback.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah, because that's critical.
Perfect. And with your kind permission, I wanted to share some excerpts from your book, and I really enjoyed that with our audience. And let me go a little bit further on those. Here's what I love in your book. This is a quote from Van Gogh. The weather and the sea are always changing. However, there are 4 core things that remain the same: a ship, a crew, a captain, and customers waiting for fish. I love the simplicity and elegance of this with the comparison to the business, and I'll read it and then I'll let you comment on that. The same happens in business. The core things remain constant: company, culture, and leadership. And these 3 core elements exist to satisfy the customer demand. And I believe John Spence calls this the Holy Trinity. And would you share some insights on that? I love this analogy.
First of all, I used to be at sea on a fishing boat myself.
Yes, you are an avid fisherman.
Yeah, yeah, but you know, being avid fisherman, just like when you go for a pleasure, is one thing. Being a professional fisherman, being at the North Atlantic, is very different.
Yeah, all over the rough seas. Yeah.
And I used to work with a captain who was very keen to go at sea at the roughest times because, for simple reason, roughest time, less fish, so demand is higher, and so we would say, no, whatever the gale, we go out, you know, because we must bring fish to the market. And it was simple. What happens? Where we have difficulties, leaders have difficulty understanding own organizations, right? If their view of organization is very much limited by their own desk.
Correct.
They handling fragments. They don't handle one whole body.
Right.
So it's like not understanding the dimensions and characteristic of your ship.
Correct.
You want to go into rough seas.
Right.
They don't know own crew, so they don't know what team or what department doing what. Correct. So they're just managing things. Oh, we need to do, and everything in a rush and in a panic. They don't understand own role, why you have a captain's ticket as a leader. Because you took responsibility for these people to bring them back home safe and with money.
Correct.
With a benefit for all. And so actually they don't know what kind of fish they're catching that would satisfy customers.
Correct.
But if you get all those things together, you always will be successful.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I love that analogy. It's so simple, but
it takes a risk. It demands a risk.
Yeah, you mentioned that about risk, that businesses are synonymous with risk, and many businesses are held back from further success because the leader does not want to go into uncharted waters. So I read that in the book somewhere.
Look, a simple thing. You know, and all of us know people who got a problem with their health, but they're afraid to go to the medical consultant in case, or if it's some injection I don't want to go through, or some kind of a maybe not so pleasant or comfortable treatment I need to go through. Therefore, no, I don't like it. I want things to go as they go. Even simple, it's not a risk. Correct. It's just something out of their wicked mind.
Correct. Yeah, it's pure imagination. It can't be, there has to be risk. I'll share a couple of more ideas from your book for the benefit of the people. And I'll go to the next slide. You say corporations starts with C for customers. Can you tell us about the incident you describe in the book when your sage fishing rod broke?
Wow, that was actually a phenomenal experience. I'm very keen salmon fisherman, you know, fly fishing. And those rods are quite special. First of all, they're strong.
Not supposed to break.
Yeah, everything could break, you know. But it was a frosty day, beginning of a season in the Arctic Circle, you know, very, very north of Europe. And I got into a large fish and the rod snapped. But the thing is, to replace it, this rod takes time and must be balanced. You know, it's quite a special thing.
Correct.
And I just like in panic, oh, that I lost the season. I sent it to the sage. But in the UK, And fairly quickly I got it back, and I just called this gentleman, manager, and I said, wow, you saved my season. I said, look, we're all fishermen, therefore
Yes,
we know what you're going through, and
correct.
for us it's the best interest to keep you on the water, happy and satisfied. Therefore ignore it, just get it and enjoy it. And it was,
Absolutely.
and it was nothing like explaining, oh yeah, it was difficult, it wasn't made up story. It was a normal human saying, you're a customer, we fully understand what you're going through,
Hmm.
and we did our best. So we don't
Yeah,
need much explanation, we need that feeling.
correct. Not
This is
sympathy.
why they exist.
Yes. Yeah, you mentioned it, not sympathy, but empathy. And
Yes.
I will
Sympathy
read,
with effort. Yes.
right. And I will read this next one, which is, I love it. Being naturally obsessed with customer care and satisfaction is a must, not just for the leader, but for the entire team. Customers are perceptive and will know when you are faking it. So,
There are two things behind this quote. The first one is, for instance, I love when I training companies, corporates, I love asking the question, turning to all of the executives who are not facing customers directly. What is your role in bringing value to customers?
correct.
And they're scratching their heads and say, yeah, I'm not talking with them, so my role is just supportive. No, you have a
Mhm.
direct role. Can you write it down? And they're just like sweating and screaming, but like within 5 minutes, 10 minutes, they're focusing on, hey, actually, I do critical work for my frontline managers to be best for customers. So if you disconnect that from
Correct.
organization, it wouldn't work. It's one thing.
Absolutely.
Another thing is, when you're coming to a bank and you talk with a bank manager or you talk with a cashier at the desk, and it seems to me they lost a sense of a very simple issue. Their customers at the same time. Because at 5 o'clock or at 6 o'clock, they're coming back home, and on the
Hmm.
way home, they're
Hmm.
going into the shop
Hmm.
or a clinic or a car service, they are customers.
Hmm.
There's a problem. Managers or people often forget that they are customers or
Correct.
how to be a customer.
Correct.
And
Right.
that breaks that chain of a human interrelationships.
Right. Absolutely. And I think with your fly fishing example, all the people, I guess the response was that we are all fly fishermen ourselves, and
Yeah,
we know how it feels if you lose a season. So,
absolutely. Look, you're flying a lot and I'm flying a lot. You know experiences that you hear an announcement in the airport. We apologize for a delay, but your flight would be delayed. We fully understand what you're going through, and so we'll take care of you.
yeah,
But eventually you are stuck as an animal in that waiting zone
right.
without much chance for a drink or for a meal or just for a comfortable
Correct.
seat.
Correct.
But if you would delay their flight, they will crucify you.
Correct. So that's just lip service. That's not sympathy, neither empathy.
It's just, so you've been penalized for being their customer.
Correct. Correct. And with your kind permission, I'll share a
Yeah,
few more nuggets, which I really
of
enjoyed
course.
from the book. And we'll go to the next one. From leadership to leaderology. And I think that's what this whole book is about. we are still hesitant to stop trying to create leaders by using approaches and techniques from the industrial era. And if leadership is so important for the existence and success of all organizations, then we desperately need a new system for leading businesses. And I think that's what you've been trying to do through your work. Can you share a little bit of light on that?
Industrial era, people were not regarded. They were just cogs in a machine. Gone, but we're still dragging it forward. In fact, not many organizations have positive, strong culture. If you look realistically, beyond declarations, they have fragmented negative cultures. So where people are not regarded. Right?
Correct.
If you look how we generate knowledge now, or how it used to be like 20 years ago.
Correct.
Information and knowledge field within organizations become more even, where all this it was really strong informational or knowledge asymmetry. It was really accumulated within a group of few people, and the rest was kept in the dark, like mushrooms.
Correct.
Or kept in the dark, fed with a shit. Wouldn't work anymore.
Absolutely.
We are either all grow or we all die.
Absolutely.
Or go bankrupt.
Correct.
It's a minimum, but it's a number of those things which must be considered. Whenever I've been thinking before about having an internal coaching where executives were coaching like newcomers. You have it today, but you didn't have it yesterday, right? So that's a quite important thing. So it's a number of people. Another thing, as I mentioned, leaders are hesitant to learn. So as I call it, it's a normal to have this triangle L sign like we have on the tail of a car. I'm
Yes.
learning it.
Correct.
I'm a work in progress.
Yes. And
but it's critical.
Absolutely. That humility, it's critical. In fact, I have that on my things to talk about. This is what preparation means, and this quote is from 650 BC from your book. We don't rise to the level of our expectation, we fall to the level of our training. And I think leadership development industry hasn't done very good. And I think in the book also you mentioned when you say that, hey, how hard it is to find leaders, and CEOs start complaining like anything.
Oh, it's easy to find managers. We're all managers. But we're talking about leaders because manager is the one who knows well about processes. Leaders who knows well about people.
Correct. Correct.
But it's for us to decide whether processes lead us or people lead processes.
People lead processes or processes lead us. Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
So the choice is ours. My choice is people.
Correct. Absolutely. And the thing that you mentioned, the leadership in action, and this is what you just talked about, and I was about to bring it up. The wise and successful leader doesn't hesitate to carry his or her learner sign, just like we put it in the car, the L, even if he is confident in his capabilities and experience. And you mentioned that the world is changing at every level, different skills and understanding is required. And you also mentioned that every time you look, there is always something to learn about an organization. So
absolutely, because we're getting new technologies, we're having new approaches, customer demand is changing, everything's changing. political landscape, economical landscape.
Correct.
Everything changing. So youth must be able and capable to face those changes not as challenges, but possibilities. Therefore, you
Right.
must learn and be strong
Correct.
enough to use opportunities
Right.
for people.
Correct.
You learn every day. You
Absolutely.
are as good as your last decision.
Correct. Correct. And continuing that thought, there are a couple of more things. Hesitation to learn and adapt to new realities kills chances of spotting opportunities, innovativeness, and as a result, limit success, which you just mentioned. So I guess you can call me a good mind reader or a good reader of your book, whichever is easier.
Both good, both, and both needed.
Right, right.
Have you eat yourself the same food yesterday, day before, a week ago, and 1 month ago? How a recipe of your favorite dish has changed over the last 20 years. That is a basic example.
Correct.
What happens in reality? The younger generation know quite a lot. What happens with the older generation? They stop learning. As soon as they stop learning, they have nothing to share with the younger generation. They have no interest in what's going on around them, except they love own problems.
Right. Or the good old days.
Yeah. So they love old memories. So they're not looking forward.
Backward.
They're lost.
Correct.
Yeah, they lost everything.
Correct.
I had a chat with someone who was about 20 years older than me, and he was talking. He's a fantastic person, but it was something about how I could help him to improve. I said, look, how much have you learned from in an age when he used to be 10 years old and 20 years old? For that 10 years. And he said, oh, a lot. How much have you learned from 20 to 30 years old? Ooh, a ton. How much have you learned over the last 10 years? And I looked at him and said, nothing.
Nothing.
And so, that's it. What can you pass or what you can share with the people around you except your old memories? But we all know about that memories.
Correct. Yeah, fantastic example. Correct. That limits the success. And
absolutely. Because your life becomes miserable, not successful, not enjoyable.
Correct. Correct. And this is what you have mentioned. I have met many owners and directors in my life and found that a majority of them have a lack of vision and even the concept of vision. So you already mentioned that people have dreams, but they don't know anything about vision. And I guess that's what keeps you busy to keep people over a period of time. No, that's what keeps you busy.
It turns, if you don't have vision, you're either turning into micromanagement because you're fixing your attention on the bottom lines or annual reports, or you are chasing your personal ambitions.
Yes, yes, that is not leadership. That is
no. It's you become a pleaser. You're pleasing people by saying yes, 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 but you do nothing for them. You don't create value.
correct.
So you wouldn't be remembered.
Correct. And there are many leaders like that, unfortunately, sadly.
But it's not because of their nature. They probably just need a bit of help to to show them how it could be different. This is what coaches for, or good mentors for.
Correct. And so here is the purpose of leadership that you define. Leadership actions means solving inefficiencies in the process of human interaction and making a difference for people every day. So that's fantastic.
It's based on a very simple. Leader is acting for people, acting with people, and acting for the people needs.
Absolutely.
Right? And that acting is based on interaction. It's not based on technological inefficiencies.
Correct. Absolutely. Two companies can have the exact same technology, exact same kind of people, and one is thriving and other might be at the brink of elimination. And the reason is, you already mentioned and outlined in the book very clearly. So I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
It gives you a lens with a simplicity of thinking about what leadership is and how the interaction between culture, leadership, and organization happens so that the customer is served. So that's fantastic. Any advice or thoughts before I share the resources and the links that the viewers may be able to get? What advice do you have for our viewers if you want to become a better leader? Where should you start?
You know, we are here to reveal the greatness of each other. This is the role of leaders.
Yes.
And you're already great just by being here, so you are grown. So just reveal it and make it even better.
Fantastic.
And don't wait for that moment that it will happen itself. Create that moment. You have everything for it.
Lovely. Do what you can right where you are and don't wait. Fantastic.
Exactly.
Fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I will share some resources that people can go and see.
Yeah.
So first is, if they share their email, we will share the link, 1 hour self-assessment from Dr. Oleg Konovalov to help you advance your leadership. So that was the question that we were just talking about. In addition, you can buy Dr. Oleg's current book, and of course the new one's coming soon, Leaderology, which is a top 20 must reads for 2019. You can buy it from Amazon. So we don't put the links on the screen because they can't be clicked, but we put them in the description. And for us, visit our blog at newageleadership.com/blog and subscribe to our YouTube channel for such interviews with Dr. Oleg and other international leadership experts. And one more gift I think Dr. Oleg would be happy to share. I enjoyed it. 30 lessons I learned about leadership. It's on your blog also, correct?
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Right. And Dr. Oleg, I am so happy you took the time. I am sure you are a busy person. And if I had to pay you for an hour of conversation for my coaching, I don't think I could afford it.
No. So, again, you see, it's nothing about me or you. It's what value we can bring to people. Therefore, we're moving from time management to value management.
Absolutely. V to V, that's what you mentioned in the book.
Yeah.
Yes.
Values to values.
Right. Fantastic. So thank you so much. And I look forward to future conversations. Once again, thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.